how much did GameStop sell its Canadian and French division for? That's going to be the subject of this video. I'm just going to calculate it really quickly because for some reason, I don't know why, that company is so secretive and they don't tell anyone anything. It's not that hard to calculate. Let's calculate it and then just get this over with, okay? So let's look at cash on hand between the different times. So before the deal, February 1st, they had $4.7 billion cash on hand. After the deal, so the 1 quarter later, $6.38 billion, right? So that's a difference of about 1.6 billion. Let's write that down somewhere. 1.6 billion difference, right? Now, you also have to remember that GameStop raised $1.5 billion this March, right? So like 3 months ago, they raised $1.5 billion doing a private secure note offering or something like that. So that means that right now we have 1.5 bill from March funding. So that means we only have 100 million left unaccounted, right? Okay, next thing. Now, if we look at their income statement, we see that they have a net income this quarter of $45 million, right? So that's where that other 45 million comes from. So that means that instead of 100 million, right, of unaccounted money that they have in their bank, minus 45, so that means that we have $55 million unaccounted for in GameStop's in their cash equivalents, right? Now the next thing is we know that they bought 4,710 Bitcoin as sometime between May 3rd and June 10th. Let's look at the price of Bitcoin. BTC. May 3rd is here at a low of 94,000 or not, yeah, 94,000 per coin. And then June 10 all over here at around 1.10. Right? Let's look. So just assuming, I'm assuming that's going to be like somewhere around $100 to $105,000 per coin. Let's look at the big spikes. So they probably bought some over here in this chunk, bought some over here in this chunk, right? And then maybe some over here just to round stuff off. But I'm going to assume that it's about, just for easy math, $100,000 per coin. That's what they bought it for. So that means that if they bought 4,710 Bitcoin, that means they spent probably around like 470, maybe let's just say $500 million. I'm bad at clicking things. $500 million to purchase 4,710 Bitcoin, right? So we have these two numbers, because this 500, they must have got that $500 million from somewhere, right? Where did they get that from? Obviously from the purchase, because we only have $55 million left unaccounted for of this $1.5 billion difference. So that means that they spent, if they have an extra $500 million and they have this $55 million, they probably paid, or they probably sold GameStop Canada for around $550 million. And then if you account for maybe like lawyer fees and that stuff, they probably sold it for around $600 million for GameStop Canada and GameStop French. That's what I'm assuming. I don't know. It also kind of makes sense because if you look at their income statement, if you look at Canada, right, you see gross profit $10 million, right? Annualized, that's $40 million. If you go over here, do 40 million divided by around 600 million. What is that? You get a cap rate of about 6.7%. I don't know if it's the same thing as real estate, but that kind of makes sense for your return on investment for someone to buy. So $600 million for GameStop Canada and France, that honestly makes sense. So that's it. That's just going to be this video. Let me know if my math doesn't make sense, but that's what I see. $600 million for GME Canada and France. There's one thing I also want to talk about. Just so if they have, this is kind of crazy, but their market cap right now is probably like around 13 billion dollar market cap. If they have this 6.4 billion, right, of cash and cash equivalent. Plus, they have around $500 million in BTC. That means they have about $6.9 billion in cash plus crypto, right? That is they are more than 50% cash. But like their stock price, more than 50% of it is just cash. Now they're going to do this raise of 1.7, where is this? They want to do this raise of $1.7 billion worth of convertible senior notes again, right? So that would increase their cash pile to now, cash and crypto pile, from 6.9 to now it's going to be, what's that, 8.6? What is 8.6 divided by 12, or we'll say 13? It is going to be, when they finish their cash raise, it's going to be 66% cash. Like the 66% of their stock value is just going to be cash. So, or cash and crypto, I guess. That's it. I don't know. I'm in GameStop just because honestly I think it's a fun story and I really like the management. I think that they're not getting paid for anything, so then it makes sense that they would want the stock price to move as much as you want the stock price to move. And also, while you're holding it, the premiums are really good. Selling calls, selling puts. That's my opinion. Or did I do any math wrong? It's very possible. But that's it. $600 million for GameStop Canada and friends. Bye.